With Jimmy Butler having a lackluster performance in his return to Miami, and with Damian Lillard being unable to get a win in Portland since being traded to Milwaukee, I want to take a look at some examples of how it's actually done, of players who had successful returns. Even though Luka technically got his revenge on the Mavericks back in February, I think doing it on your old stomping grounds is when it really counts, and it looks like Vince Carter agrees.
The real game for Luka, in my opinion, is when he goes back to Dallas.
Yes, that's the game.
That's the game. The big game is when he wants to do it in Dallas.
And he would know all about that. Revenge games are at their best when the player playing on a new team returns to his old stadium for the first time since their departure. It was April 15th, 2005, Air Canada Centre, a sold-out crowd. Vince Carter was back in Toronto for the first time since he became a Net, but this wasn't a warm welcome. They would even cheer when he missed a shot during warm-ups. The man who once soared above the rim as Toronto's hero was now their greatest villain. He put Canadian basketball on the map, but behind the scenes, tension had been brewing. Vince was frustrated with the front office, as Raptors management repeatedly failed to put a championship-caliber team around him. He was losing faith, but the fans were under the impression that he quit on them after watching this now infamous interview.
Do you think Vince Carter has pushed himself as hard as he should have pushed himself?
In years past, no.
But some people still come to his defense to this very day, saying that the interview was manipulated a certain way to make him look bad.
Everybody said, oh, I didn't come to play, I didn't play hard, I didn't do this. Oh my goodness, never that. I mean, and what really kind of got under my skin is for the people that know me, fans, players, media, whatever, should know better. You know, I think people just want to feel that way just because, yeah, they're mad that I left.
Regardless of what happened, he was looking to make a statement against his former team.
From North Carolina, 6'6" guard, number 15, Vince Carter. From California, 6'4" guard, number 5, Jason Kidd.
From the moment he touched the ball, the Air Canada Centre let him hear it. The boos were relentless, but Vince didn't just survive it, he fed off it. Carter torched the Raptors for 39 points, making big shot after big shot, as the Nets walked away with a 101-90 victory, and then went on to continue sticking it to his old team. Vince gave them nightmares for years, even beating them in the playoffs in 2007. Even though LeBron James chose to go to Miami on his own free will, I still think his first game back in Cleveland was definitely a revenge game, given the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert famously posted this letter on the team's website, in which he criticized LeBron for walking away from Cleveland, saying very disrespectful things about him, and he also had to watch people burn his jersey.
I have never in my life at any sporting event been in a place like the arena in Cleveland. The first time you guys
December 2nd.
came back.
December
You still
2nd.
remember the date.
I will never forget that day.
On December 2nd, 2010, the city of Cleveland braced itself for an emotional night. LeBron James, who had once been the beacon of hope for the Cavaliers, was returning, not as a hero, but as a member of the Miami Heat.
LeBron James' return to Cleveland next Thursday could be so problematic the game actually comes with instructions. The message from the Cavaliers to their fans is this: no profane or vulgar clothing. Obscene signs will be removed. Increased Quicken Loans Arena security will include uniformed and undercover officers near the Heat bench and along the way to the visitors' locker room.
This was his first game back at the Quicken Loans Arena since his highly publicized departure, and the atmosphere was electric with anticipation, resentment, and a palpable sense of betrayal.
I always take it back to that first game in Cleveland, Bron's first game. Like, I've never seen fans that mad at a person.
I would never forget the Cleveland game, the first time we went back to Cleveland, but I seen some real hatred out there, JJ. I'm talking about, I see some ugliness, and I from fans that I didn't know existed. I mean, at that time we had to have so much security around us because the hate was real.
The air was thick with emotion, every seat filled, every eye fixed on the entrance tunnel, waiting for LeBron to step foot on the court.
I remember walking out of the tunnel, and it wasn't just boos, and it wasn't just I hate you. It was the look on people's faces. It was the things that was coming out of their mouths and like how raged they were, like in anger, that I said I will never forget this moment a day in my life.
I've been around basketball for 25 to 30 years and have never seen an electricity in a building and the intensity in a building for a regular season game. This feels like the NBA Finals right now.
It does.
And this
like
is
a
no
game
exaggeration.
7.
Every time LeBron touched the ball, the boos intensified, echoing through the arena. LeBron quickly found his rhythm, sinking shot after shot. With each play, he dismantled the Cavaliers, not just on the scoreboard, but in spirit.
For Miami. James. Yes. My goodness.
Yeah, this is not fair now.
The boos were no longer affecting him, scoring 38 points, 24 of them coming in the third quarter alone, and didn't even play in the fourth, as Miami secured a resounding victory over the Cavaliers. Similar to LeBron, even though Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City high and dry, they proceeded to give him plenty of reasons to circle their game on his calendar. On February 11th, 2017, Kevin Durant, once the cornerstone of the Oklahoma City Thunder, stepped onto familiar hardwood, but this time as a foe.
I know they're going to be, rowdy in there, man. I've been a part of some of the loudest nights in that arena, so I know it's not going to be the friendliest welcome, but...
For 8 straight seasons, Durant was the heart and soul of Oklahoma City. He evolved into a 4-time scoring champion, an MVP, and led the Thunder to the 2012 NBA Finals. The city embraced him, but in the summer of 2016, Durant chose to leave, joining the Warriors, a team that had just bested the Thunder in a grueling 7-game Western Conference Finals. The betrayal felt personal to many in Oklahoma City.
Do you have a Kevin Durant jersey?
No.
Are you mad at Kevin Durant?
Yeah, because he moved to Golden State.
Are you still mad at Kevin Durant?
Yes.
How come?
Because he's a traitor.
Did you own any Kevin Durant jerseys?
I owned a lot of t-shirts and some posters.
What'd you do with those?
Honestly, I threw them in the trash.
The anticipation was exhilarating. Tickets sold out in moments, not just to witness a game, but to voice their feelings. Remember, it wasn't just OKC fans he had to take crap from. He got tormented everywhere he went.
Only down 8, Chris. I'm sure a lot of guys don't expect it to be deeper than this.
If you all lose this game, will you join that team next season?
Say what?
And our gymnastics team was so dominant that Kevin Durant told me he wants to play for them next year.
And you left the NBA hanging. What are they going to do when they don't have a bad guy? Exactly what we do. They're going to make a new one.
All of this fueled him to go out there and put on a show. Durant reportedly told Russell Westbrook that he was going to re-sign with OKC, only to go behind his back and sign with the Warriors shortly after. Now, Durant has denied this, but looking at how Westbrook was acting that night, I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. When it was all said and done, Durant tallied 34 points, leading the Warriors to a commanding victory. Unlike the previous players in this video, Shaquille O'Neal actually received some cheers in his first game against the Lakers after being traded to the Miami Heat.
I think it was 89.2% cheers and 11.8% boos.
But that's not what this game was about. The real story revolved around former allies turned adversaries. December 25th, 2004, a day when the basketball world held its breath.
It's one of the most anticipated fights in basketball history.
Shaq's partnership with Kobe Bryant was the stuff of legends, but behind the glitz and glamour, a storm was brewing. Egos clashed, and after the Lakers lost to the Pistons in the 2004 NBA Finals, their relationship reached a point where they could no longer play together. Shaq has recently said that he didn't leave because of his so-called feud with Kobe. It was actually due to financial reasons, which I don't doubt played a part, but you can't tell me that his beef with Kobe had nothing to do with him requesting a trade. I find that hard to believe.
When was the last time you talked to Kobe?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't know.
To this day, many still blame Kobe for Shaq's departure from LA.
There was so much conversation during the Shaq years. Were you guys friends?
No.
Shaq believed that the organization favored Kobe and wanted to prove that they made the wrong choice. The NBA knew what they were doing when they scheduled a Christmas Day showdown, a game that would see Shaq return to the Staples Center.
And 19,000 pairs of eyes just riveted now as the two will come to midcourt. So here comes Kobe out into the picture, and Shaq with a little elbow, but never looked at him, looked right over the top of Kobe's head. Shaq has gotten to the point now he doesn't even refer to Kobe by name.
The atmosphere was electrifying. Fans witnessed a hard-fought battle, with both teams exchanging blows. In the end, it was Miami who emerged victorious, after Kobe missed a potential game-winning shot in overtime.
With Shaquille O'Neal, as Kobe is launching that three at the very end of that first overtime, what are you thinking?
I knew that it wasn't going to go in.
Kobe did have 42 points, but again, it was in a loss, which makes me think that this was another subliminal jab.
That's all we want to do, come here and win. You know, we're not trying to score 50 or 60 points and try to outdo anybody. No, we just want to play good team ball, and that's what we did today.
Shaq got the first laugh. Actually, if you think about it, he got the first two laughs.